On this episode of Bass to Billfish, Peter Miller goes governmental.
We're going to meet the gov now. We're pretty excited.
Florida's Governor Rick Scott is visiting Northwest Florida with members of his cabinet.
I'd like to thank Visit Florida and Peter Miller, the host of the Florida Bass to Billfish television show.
During the visit, teams were formed to compete head-to-head in the first ever fishing capital of the world, Florida's Leadership Tournament. Florida, the fishing capital of the world. With over 2,000 miles of pristine shoreline, join three-time World Sailfish Championship winner and pro angler Peter Miller as he takes these lucky winners on a once-in-a-lifetime fishing adventure. From freshwater to saltwater, ocean to Everglades, come join us for a fishing experience like no other. This is Florida's Bass to Billfish with Peter Miller, presented by Yellowfin. And by Visit Florida. Unleash your Florida side. As regular viewers of Bass to Billfish know, Florida is known as the fishing capital of the world for good reason. Recently, Visit Florida President and CEO Chris Thompson announced a new resource that will help anglers get the most out of their time on the water.
There's always something biting in the state of Florida, and today it gets better. FishingCapital.com. This is a cutting-edge website that has all the latest information to help everybody about anything that there is to do in the state of Florida as it relates to fishing.
In celebration of this exciting new resource, Bass to Billfish is proud to present the first ever fishing capital of the world, Florida's Leadership Tournament. Each of the 4 members of the Florida Cabinet will host a team consisting of professional anglers, guest anglers, and local fishing guides. Team number 1 features Florida Governor Rick Scott, paired up with Bass to Billfish host Peter Miller.
Hey, Governor, I'm Peter. We're going to be fishing together. Oh, that'll be fun.
Supplying the local knowledge for the team is Northwest Florida fishing guide Captain Greg Burnett. Look out, folks. Team Scott is ready to compete. Team number 2 is headed up by Florida's Attorney General, Pam Bondi.
I have the underdog advantage.
Another advantage for Team Bondi lies with their pro angler, Bass to Billfish's very own Madison Roberts. Rounding out the rest of the team is guest angler Scott Robinson and local guide Captain Terry McGowan. Jeff Atwater, Florida's Chief Financial Officer, heads team number 3 and starts the day with a bold prediction.
FishingCapital.com. Tune in, turn it on, and watch your Chief Financial Officer come home with a victory this evening.
Host of the Florida Insider Fishing Report, Captain Rick Murphy, hopes to bring some of that insider knowledge to his team. Guest angler Pam Anderson and local guide Captain Steve Jacobs round out the rest of Team Atwater. Our 4th team competing today is led by a man who knows a little something about Florida seafood. Florida's Commissioner of Agriculture, Adam Putnam.
When you really drill down into it and you think about what are the experiences that tie us all together as Floridians, from the Panhandle to the Keys, it's an attachment to water. And that's really why we are the fishing capital of the world.
Joining Team Putnam is the founder of Wounded Warrior Fishing, Mark McDuffie, and helping to put them on the fish is local fishing guide, Captain Bucky Weaver. And there you have it. Our teams are set and ready to compete. When we get back, it will be the start of the first ever fishing capital of the world, Florida's Leadership Tournament. Bass to Billfish with Peter Miller is brought to you by Visit Florida. Your Florida side is calling. Go to visitflorida.com. Pep Boys does everything for less. Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Ray Marine, world leaders in marine electronics. To celebrate the launch of the new FishingCapital.com website, members of the Florida Cabinet have been paired up with pro anglers and local guides for an exciting fishing tournament. Set in the beautiful waters of Northwest Florida, this promises to be a great event. Now, let's take a look at the rules for the first ever fishing capital of the world, Florida's Leadership Tournament. FWC rules and regulations will be followed. The tournament duration will be 3 hours. The teams will be competing in each of the following categories: most fish landed, largest overall fish, most species landed, and total bag weight. With a wide variety of species to catch, these anglers will need to use their skill and their professional guides to try and outfish the competition.
Bon voyage.
As the teams head out on the water, Peter Miller and Florida Governor Rick Scott feel pretty good about their chances at bringing home a win.
They all think they're going to beat us, but there's not much of a chance.
A pretty bold prediction from the governor, but knowing the great fishing available in Northwest Florida, he knows that his team has a very good shot. Recent fishing reports have spotted large schools of redfish by a nearby inlet. But as 3 of the 4 teams head to that spot, Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi has some suspicions.
We're worried that the governor has stayed up all night and has been charting the waters, and that's why he's gone out on his own.
While teams Bondi, Atwater, and Putnam head west towards the inlet, Captain Greg Burnett has another plan.
We'll try to fish a dock first,
Okay.
redfish there, and then we'll know kind of quick. If they bite,
We'll find out fast.
we'll find out.
With only 3 hours to fish, they may be taking a big risk by stopping at this spot.
I want to try to get them right on the right side of that dock over there.
Within minutes, it appears that Team Scott made a good decision.
Real. Just straight up.
Oh yeah, we're on, baby. This is great.
And while Florida Governor Rick Scott has a fish on, pro angler Peter Miller makes it a doubleheader.
Ooh, you just got a big blow up. He's all over you.
Holy cow, dude, that's huge. I just called the gov, dude.
Look at that.
Holy cow. Look at this. That is a pig. Look at the size of this.
Team Scott is battling with a pair of large redfish.
We got a double header on.
The redfish are one of Florida's most sought-after game fish. Observing the action from a nearby boat, FWC Executive Director Nick Wiley shares in the excitement.
I've never caught a fish this big. That is amazing.
That's bigger than 27, boys.
Good God.
Who's going to tell the governor he's got to put it back?
Florida regulations for harvest require that redfish measure at least 18 inches, but no more than 27 inches.
40 inches.
Yeah.
With a 40-inch redfish to the boat, Team Scott takes a commanding lead at the start of the tournament. But because it's outside the slot size, the fish must be released and is not eligible for the total bag weight category.
Wow. That's a pretty good start.
While Team Scott is already on the leaderboard, 7 miles to the west, the remaining teams are just now arriving at the inlet. As the teams jockey for position, Attorney General Pam Bondi hooks up right away.
Either I got a rock or I got something. Hold on. Oh, I got something little. No, I got seaweed. Darn it.
Since seaweed doesn't count in this tournament, Team Bondi will have to rebait and make another cast.
Couldn't ask for a nicer day. A little breeze, not too hot.
It's beautiful, and it looks as if none of our competitors have caught anything, so that's a good sign,
Most
too.
importantly.
But fishing 7 miles to the east, Team Scott seems to have found a honey hole.
Fish on. Insanity. Seriously, this is as good as it gets. Awesome, the slimiest handshakes ever.
A nice pair of overslot redfish adds to Team Scott's total fish landed score. Meanwhile, back at the inlet, Team Putnam prepares to put out their lines.
And there's big schools of redfish here in the late in the afternoon. They're down on the bottom. But all the redfish that have been right here are giants, guys. I mean, the small ones, 30 inches, you know.
Fishing a few yards away, Team Bondi has already had one false alarm. Now, she is ready for the real thing.
Ooh, something's got it. There's a bite. All right,
Run. Oh, yeah.
Madison, I'm gonna need your help, guys.
You got it.
Don't let me lose him. We've got to see what we got. He's fighting me, guys. Help.
He's getting close. Oh, I see him. I see him right there.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
What is it?
I need some help here,
All
guys.
right.
You got it.
I need
You got
some
it.
help.
You got it.
He's beautiful. Come on in. Woo! Woo!
Look at that.
A big redfish helps build morale for Team Bondi.
Way to go.
But they'll only be able to count the fish if it falls within the legal slot size.
He's 30.5 inches.
Is he too big?
He's too big.
It's just over the limit. But as Team Atwater is setting up just a few yards away, the Attorney General knows just how to capitalize on the big catch.
Let's go show the competition. Hey guys!
Bass to Billfish with Peter Miller is brought to you by Yellowfin, choice of champions. Mazda, Zoom Zoom. Mercury, #1 on the water. Buff, the original multifunctional headwear. Closed captioning for Bass to Billfish has been provided by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. The fishing capital of the world, Florida's leadership tournament, is underway and off to a great start.
Come on, this is crazy.
Team Scott has struck a motherload of redfish, while Team Bondi is hot on their trail. But Team Atwater, led by Florida's CFO, has finally come alive with a fish of their own. But after a few minutes, things aren't looking so good. Fishing in the same area is Team Bondi, and the Attorney General has some words of encouragement for her competition.
At least we know they're out there. No, they're too big. We had to throw them back.
But moments later, Rick Murphy gets a chance at redemption for Team Atwater.
Jeff. We got one on, Jeff.
buddy.
Pretty confident that he is hooked into a redfish, Rick is looking for that ideal slot-sized fish.
Come on, baby, big 26 and 7/8.
But as Rick is fighting his fish, Pam Bondi is being a stickler for the rules.
Oh, is that right?
Take it over, seriously.
She said you got to bring it in to make it count. Here.
She tells Team Atwater that only the fish that Jeff brings in himself will count in the tournament.
Yeah, take it over, Jeff, then it'll count for you.
Is it possible I can screw it up though?
You ain't gonna mess with it.
Just keep it tight.
He keeps wanting to go to your boat, Pam.
That's it. When he pulls like that, just it. That's it. Perfect. Perfect. That's it, Jeff. Good job. Not a race. Just stay connected, man. That's your whole job right there.
That's great, look at that.
Oh, that could be him. Oh, what is it?
He is 30, about 30.5 actually.
And unfortunately for Team Atwater, their fish also falls outside of the elusive slot limit. Back on Team Scott, Peter Miller and Governor Rick Scott are on a redfish frenzy.
Bite is pretty good here, I gotta be honest. I haven't had this much fun in a long time. Fishing the Panhandle, every time I come up here, I have a ball, and the Governor's a freaking animal. Fish after fish, machine. This is great. Look at this, unbelievable catching here. We can't keep track how many we've caught. That's pretty unbelievable.
The Governor and Peter have caught 16 fish between them, making them front runners for the most fish category.
I can't imagine we're not winning.
However, the lack of slot-sized reds has created a chance for teams Bondi, Atwater, or Putnam to grab one or more categories. The fishing is getting good.
You guys, I think something's biting on mine.
And suddenly, for Pam Bondi and her team, it's starting to get a little too good.
This one feels so much bigger than the other. Oh, she's beautiful.
Oh, that's a nice one.
All right.
There we go, you see?
She's too big. We have to release her. All right, she survived.
Another large redfish caught for Team Bondi puts them behind Team Scott for the most fish landed. Team Putnam is the last team without a fish. As they move into a new location, they hope the shallow grass beds prove to be more productive for their team.
I want to try to get us a special trap.
It looks like Team Putnam is going for a different species. Florida CFO Jeff Atwater's first fish was over the slot limit and released.
All right, there you go.
Now his teammate has another fish on.
Atta girl, go, man!
All right, playing catch up, guys.
As the fish is boated, the team anxiously measures the redfish.
27.
Looks like a good one to me.
Finally, fortune smiles on Team Atwater, and that is the first keeper of the tournament. Meanwhile, Team Putnam has moved inshore searching for trout. Moments after setting up, Adam Putnam gets his first bite of the day.
That's a good trout.
There it goes.
With one fish in the boat, Team Putnam can breathe a little easier.
Monkey's off her back.
Bass to Billfish with Peter Miller is brought to you by Visit Florida. Your Florida side is calling. Go to visitflorida.com. And by the Northwest Florida Tourism Council and Northwest Florida Beaches. FWC. There's only one season in Florida, fishing season. Join the Bass to Billfish team and connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. The fishing capital of the world, Florida's leadership tournament is in full stride. The event has 4 teams competing in 4 separate categories: most fish landed, largest overall fish, most species landed, and total bag weight. Right now, Team Scott is in the lead for the largest fish with a 40-inch red. Team Bondi has released 2 oversized redfish, and Team Atwater has a nice 27-inch redfish in the well. After a slow start, Team Putnam is on the boards with a hard-fighting speckled trout.
Come on, baby, be a 12-incher!
With one keeper redfish in the boat, it looks like Team Atwater has changed their strategy and is targeting a different species.
Looks like a Spanish mackerel, just smaller.
Team Atwater takes the lead in the most species category.
Jeff, you're on fire!
Yeah, I'm on fire.
Team Atwater will be able to weigh in both the redfish and the Spanish mackerel in the total bag weight category. 1.1 miles southwest, Captain Bucky knows their one trout in the cooler won't cut it.
We got another 20 minutes to fish, maybe?
There he is.
There you go.
Any fish pulling this hard is a good sign. It may give the Governor's 40-incher a good run.
Always beautiful.
Governor Scott's 40-inch red has been in the lead most of the day, but when Adam's fish surfaces, all bets are off.
There he is.
And the fish is tall.
Oh my goodness.
Dude.
Yes, sir. All right. This is a tournament winner right here.
A quick measurement confirms that the fish is 42 inches long, bumping Team Scott into second place for the largest overall.
Tell you what, fishing in Florida, most spectacular place on earth for fishing. This is the fishing capital, Florida.
Meanwhile, on Team Scott, Peter Miller is feeling pretty good about their chances.
Oh, there's one right under it. Oh, you get it right there. I watched him slip the hook down. You think these guys could have taken us down? You think it's possible? I can't imagine we're not winning.
Oh, that's just a shade under 27. That's a keeper.
We got a keeper. Woo!
Back in the inlet, Team Bondi is still looking for a keeper fish.
He's fighting hard.
Jack Ravel.
Boy, he's fighting. He fights more than the redfish.
While not a contender in the bag weight category, that Jack Ravel puts them in a tie with Team Atwater for most species. And with 5 minutes left in the competition, the CFO hopes to close out that category.
Me too.
But moments after releasing the jack, Team Bondi gets one more bite.
Oh, she's beautiful.
A nice-sized bluefish qualifies as their 3rd species of the tournament. As the sun sets over the water, the teams make their way back to the docks in anticipation of the final results.
Peter was great to fish with, and Greg did a great job of getting us in the right place, with the right bait, at the right time. This has been outstanding.
Back to the docks, the FWC team carefully weighs the fish, and the results are delivered to Nick Wiley to be announced to the anxious crowd.
General Bondi, I believe that's 2 pounds, 2.05 pounds. Commissioner Putnam's 1.9 pounds. Governor Rick Scott, 6.5 pounds. And CFO Jeff Atwater, benefiting from multiple species, 7.6 pounds.
At the end of the day, here are the final results for the Florida Leaders Tournament. Most fish landed. Team Scott, largest overall fish. Team Putnam, most species landed. Team Bondi, and total bag weight, Team Atwater. With bragging rights assigned, it was time to turn attentions to more serious matters. Gulf World Marine Institute is a nonprofit organization committed to assist in the rehabilitation of marine animals.
On behalf of the Tourist Development Councils of Northwest Florida, we'd like to present this check to him on behalf of each and every one of you.
After the presentation of the $5,000 donation, Peter Miller had another surprise announcement.
We'd like to match the $5,000 check, and I hope it helps.
Thank you very much.
Our pleasure.
FWC carefully manages our fisheries to ensure that we all can enjoy Florida seafood. Local restaurant Bayou Joe's knows how to cook up some fish, and the consensus of the governor and his cabinet was that they exceeded all expectations. So as we close the books on the inaugural Fishing Capital of the World Florida's Leader Tournament, we look back on an incredible event. We have the fishingcapital.com website for anglers. Our teams caught record numbers of fish, and we raised $10,000 for a great cause. Now, more than ever, it's clear to see why Florida is the fishing capital of the world.